Imagine saving the entire human race, only to be murdered by the very people you fought beside. After monsters over 1,000 meters tall pushed humanity to the brink of extinction, 13 heroes entered a tower that no one had ever returned from. Only 12 came back, and the world was told that the strongest among them had sacrificed himself for humanity. A noble hero, a legendary saint, a martyr. Except that was a complete lie, because while the entire world mourned his death, the man they buried was still alive. Moments earlier, he had done the impossible. Alone, bleeding, missing an arm. Standing on the corpse of a monster that had nearly wiped out humanity, he had won. But instead of being welcomed as humanity's greatest hero, he was stabbed through the heart by one of his own allies, thrown into a pit filled with countless monsters, and left to die. As millions of creatures closed in from every direction, there was only one thought running through his mind. I'm not dying here. Not before I kill every single bastard who betrayed me. And what happened next turned humanity's strongest hero into its greatest nightmare. The manhwa begins in space as a satellite is destroyed. The narrator explains that a disaster had fallen upon the world. A demonic monkey-like monster with a giant crimson eye appeared. It was a catastrophe greater than anything humanity had ever faced before. The creature was at least 1,000 meters tall and had a single massive eye. Beneath it were thousands of other monsters of various sizes. Humanity was thrown into its greatest battle against these overwhelming beings. News reports were filled with reports of an unknown civilization. The public demanded that the president take action, but he was backed into a corner. The monsters were using humans as food. We cannot accept their demands. Humanity named these mysterious beings that appeared out of nowhere calamities. In desperation, humanity even resorted to nuclear weapons against the endless wave of calamities. Boom. However, the monsters treated the nuclear explosions as if they were nothing more than a bonfire, enjoying the warmth. Entire cities were destroyed simply because of their enormous size. One of the monsters looked toward a man hiding behind a broken wall while holding a baby. All hope was lost and everyone was waiting for death. Suddenly, a man stepped forward, something heavy dragging behind him. The man glanced at the giant squid, gripping his enormous sword. Wait, pause. The giant squid-like monster raised its tentacles to attack. The father tightened his grip on the child, hoping it would end quickly. Suddenly, the swordsman leaped into the air. The father looked up in shock. The man, whose face was covered in scars, sliced the giant squid's head clean off. The narrator continued. Then they appeared. The 13 zodiacs. Humanity called the 12 humans blessed by divine gods saints. Although they wielded the power of the gods who blessed them, there was also a 13th human who awakened without receiving a divine blessing. That person was me, Li Jian. The 13 zodiacs gathered together inside the demon tower, where the giant red-eyed monster known as the Crimson Eye lived. Their goal was to defeat it once and for all. Li Jian took a deep breath. Well then, shall we go inside? Together with the 12 saints, I entered the demon tower to clear it. Time skips forward. Camera flashes filled the room. A nervous reporter asked a question. What happened? Why did only 12 of you return? What happened to Korea's hero Li Jian? An injured saint stood at the podium. Li Jian tears began to fill his eyes. He chose death for the sake of humanity. The saint broke down crying. Yeah, that is complete nonsense. Although I risked my life, I never sacrificed myself. What really happened was this. The Crimson Eye lay decapitated. Beneath its massive body, Li Jian was breathing heavily. I somehow managed to defeat the Crimson Eye by myself. He was in critical condition. One of his arms was gone and his sword was nearly broken. Those bastards really ran off and left me here. I barely managed to defeat it. Before he could finish speaking, a purple sword pierced his chest near his heart from his blind spot. All of his strength vanished instantly. He looked back. He could not even see the attacker's face. Unable to stand, he fell into a deep pit. This is bullshit. What kind of bullshit is this? He crashed face first onto the ground. His thoughts raced. One of the people I trusted stabbed me in the back and trapped me in the worst place imaginable, a place I could never escape from. Yet somehow, he was still alive. Looking up, he laughed bitterly. The universe must be playing a joke on me. It did not want me to be lonely, so it left me with all these lovely friends. Surrounding him were countless monsters. Laughing like a madman, he thought to himself, my left arm is gone and I cannot even lift my right arm. Maybe it would be better to die here. He laid back down, losing hope. Then his gaze fell on his sword. He grabbed the dagger that he was stabbed with and placed it in his mouth. Activating his magical powers, did those guys really believe that I will die here? Don't make me laugh. The monsters charged toward him, leaping into the air, surrounded by thousands, perhaps even millions of monsters, he shouted. There is no way I am dying here. I will not die until I kill those bastards who stabbed me in the back. Just wait for me. The scene shifts to a restaurant called Cacao Chicken, one day before they entered the Demon Tower. Someone called out his name, Jian. Listen to me carefully. A magnificent plate of fried chicken sat on the table. The speaker was a saint, more specifically the Sagittarius saint. His name was Hugo Otters. You were going to die tomorrow. Li Jian looked at him in confusion. What? Oh, Takesu, why do you want me to die so badly? Holding up 2 drumsticks like swords, he continued. Is this because of the drumsticks? Hugo was immediately annoyed. And my name is Hugo Otters, not Takesu. Li Jian laughed. I understand why you are worried, but I am not going to die, my friend. Biting the chicken, I have killed more calamities than all of the 12 saints combined. And you really think I am the one who's going to die? He remained silent, because Jian wasn't bluffing. The story then shifts to the Demon Tower. This was the place where the worst calamity that nearly annihilated humanity resided. We finally get some background on the world. It all began on the last day of the 20th century. The calamities appeared out of nowhere and pushed humanity to the brink of extinction with their overwhelming power. Just as humanity was consumed by fear and chaos, 12 beings calling themselves divine gods appeared. They promised humanity the power to overcome the calamities and selected 12 awakened individuals to receive their blessings. However, something unexpected happened. A 13th awakened appeared. Unlike the others, he received no blessing from any god. And to make things even more unbelievable, he was overwhelmingly powerful, far stronger than the other 12 saints. Some admired his strength, some feared it, and some hated him because of it. Standing among the corpses of hundreds of calamities, his hands were resting on the enormous sword. Li Jian smirked proudly. Hugo approached him with a smile. Thanks, Jian. Thanks to you, we can finally conquer the Demon Tower. Li Jian sat down. Oh, Taiksu, save the compliments and just buy me fried chicken for the next 5 years. Hugo sighed. Are you not sick of fried chicken yet? And can you please get my name right for once? It is Hugo Otters. With a completely serious expression, Li Jian replied. That is exactly what I said. Nearby, the other saints were talking among themselves. If we eliminate the Crimson Eye this time, we should receive incredible rewards. Of course. No matter how you look at it, this is the strongest calamity in existence. Let us make sure we each get at least 100 billion won. Li Jian interrupted them. Why be so greedy? I would be happy staying in a 7-star hotel in Hawaii for 10 years. Several countries are already on the verge of bankruptcy because of the Crimson Eye. The pig laughed. With a triple chin, he said. You need a lot of money if you want to repair that body of yours. Not to mention fixing the face that used to be handsome. The 2 saints left while laughing mockingly. Let's think this logically here. Yes, Li Jian's face and body are filled with scars, but those scars have honor and bravery in them. This fatso said it will take a lot of money to fix it. But the pig doesn't even have $30 to go to the gym? Just look at the triple chin. Man, what the fuck? Well, back to the story. Sorry for yapping. Watching them, Li Jian thought. People call them saints, but they are really nothing more than selfish thugs. One of them added with a grin. And one more thing. Do not rush to disaster sites the moment someone calls for help. We need a certain number of casualties first. That way we receive more reward money. Li Jian was already tired of their nonsense. Whatever. Let us just get moving. As they entered the giant cave, scorching heat and fear washed over them. All of them tilted their heads even more just to see his head. Towering over them was the Crimson Eye. The saints trembled in fear. Is that really the boss of this tower? Even Li Jian was shocked. Just looking at us is creating this much spiritual pressure. The monster slowly opened its mouth. A massive attack began forming. The entire tower shook violently. The ground cracked apart. Golden light erupted from below. Pure lava burst through the floor. Li Jian and the saints were completely caught off guard as the entire ground cracked. A colossal beam erupted from the ground. No one was able to dodge it. The magical power behind it was so intense that it exploded right through the tower, reaching the sky. When the smoke finally cleared, the saints stared in horror. The ground beneath them had been hollowed out. Boiling lava was all that remained below. Meanwhile, the Crimson Eye remained seated on its throne as if nothing had happened. One saint struggled to speak. Run. Everyone run away. The saints immediately turned and fled. How are we supposed to fight something like that? Let us just run. Li Jian looked at them in disappointment. And you call yourselves saints? Unbelievable. Gripping his sword, activating his powers. Looks like I will be the only one defeating this bastard. He launched himself forward and charged directly at the monster. The story returns to the present. Li Jian's thoughts raced. This is complete nonsense. After everything, I got stabbed and thrown into a trap. How much time has passed? What is happening outside? Does time flow differently inside the tower? I am too tired to think about any of that. Right now, there is only one thing I need to do. We finally see him, cutting through endless waves of calamities. I need to keep swinging. I need to keep fighting, because this place is a special prison that endlessly summons calamities. Surrounded by thousands, perhaps millions of monsters, Li Jian stood alone in the center. Do you really think this is enough to kill me? His appearance was barely recognizable. He looked more like a monster than a human. Grinding his teeth, he growled. Just wait. I will survive. And when I get out, I will rip the heads off every single bastard who betrayed me. As time passed, 20 years later, a man was walking to a calamity. The calamity was pissing his pants. How is this possible? How did you even reach this place? The bearded man replied calmly. You are the last one. The calamity shook in fear. Please, someone save me. Is there nobody out there? The man raised his foot. Scream all you want. Please spare me. The next moment, he crushed the monster completely. Taking a deep breath, he looked around. Is it finally over? Suddenly, the ground began to shake. The world around him started collapsing. He remained expressionless. Does this mean I can finally leave? Or is this just the second phase? His vision blurred. He collapsed face first onto the ground. The scene shifts once more. A bright sunny day. Under the beautiful sky stood the ruins of a destroyed city. Near a bridge, two young boys were running for their lives. Run. Run faster. One shouted at the other. I told you not to go over there. How was I supposed to know? It was supposed to be safe today. How could I have known we would run into high-rank calamities? Behind them, wolf-like calamities chased relentlessly. One of the boys laughed despite his fear. We are definitely dead. A fortune teller told me I would meet an unimaginable monster today. He was absolutely right. One of the calamities lunged forward. The boys barely avoided the attack. As they became surrounded, one of them thought, if Li Jian had survived the demon tower, monsters like these would not even be a problem. Suddenly, a deafening sound echoed across the city. The demon tower began shaking. Its massive doors slowly opened. An overwhelming amount of light poured out. A huge explosion followed. The entire area disappeared beneath a cloud of smoke. The boys struggled to stay standing. As the smoke cleared, they saw a massive pit of lava. Buried beneath the rubble, he was in disbelief. Then one of them pointed forward. Jimin. There is someone coming out of the tower. A human. What are you talking about? A muscular arm emerged from the smoke. Steam rose from his body. A man slowly stepped forward. Black and green energy erupted around him. Every step radiated pure rage. How dare you stab me in the back and throw me into that trap? You bastards. The energy around him exploded even further. Every single one of you is going to die by my hands. Just what is that? Is he even human? Boom! Li Jian drove his fist straight into the wolf calamity. Then he crushed another beneath his foot. The boys could not believe what they were seeing. Those were orange-class calamities, monsters that even high-ranked awakens struggled to defeat. Yet Li Jian was swatting them aside like insects. Not even a minute had passed, and every single monster was already lying dead. Suddenly, he noticed someone watching him. In an instant, he disappeared. The next moment, with tremendous force, he broke the rubble covering them and landed between them, nearly giving them both a heart attack. One of them spoke with fear in his voice. Wait, please. Why are you attacking us? Li Jian tilted his head. Oh, humans, he thought. So if there are humans here, the other calamities must have been cleared out already. The boys could not believe they were still alive. I think that guy came out of the tower. Is this not the biggest scoop in history? Are you stupid? What kind of place do you think that tower is? There is no way a person could come out alive. He probably just happened to be nearby when the tower collapsed. Suddenly, the sunlight disappeared. A massive shadow covered the area. The boys slowly crawled backward in fear. Li Jian turned around in confusion. Towering above him was an enormous wolf, calamity radiating bloodlust. The boys practically lost their minds. No way. That is the leader of the wolf pack. Run. Run now. Meanwhile, Lee Jian simply stood there smiling. The giant wolf began charging red energy in its mouth. A terrifying beam erupted forward. The boys froze. The attack exploded with enough force to resemble a small nuclear blast. When the smoke finally cleared, they cautiously opened their eyes. They were alive. Standing in front of them was Lee Jian. Everything around him had been completely obliterated. Yet the area behind him remained untouched. Did he protect us? Lee Jian cracked his neck. You little mutt. He launched himself into the air. Power gathered around his fist. If you are nothing more than a dumb dog, sit. His punch slammed into the wolf's head. The impact completely destroyed the ground beneath the monster. The boys stood speechless. Lee Jian landed with enough force to shake the area. Looking around for more calamities, he smelt his hand. Damn, that stinks. Then he looked toward the boys. You two. The pair instantly stood at attention. Yes, sir. Lee Jian slowly turned around. His expression made him look like a demon. Go. The boys were terrified. But where, sir? His expression instantly changed. With a cheerful smile, he replied, Go buy me some food. The boys stared blankly. Lee Jian added, And some clothes, too. The scene shifts to a restaurant. Lee Jian slammed an empty bowl onto the table. The two boys looked at the bill. Their souls practically left their bodies. He ate $10,000 worth of food at a fast food restaurant? 120 servings by himself? Meanwhile, Lee Jian let out a loud burp. Since you said you did not have much money, I held back a little. One of them exploded after hearing that. The fuck you mean you held back? What's the big deal? You said you would buy me anything for saving your life. Ignoring the temper tantrum, he ordered another bowl. One of the boys finally asked, But big brother, what are you? A disciple? A divine cadre captain? What were you doing around the tower? Lee Jian casually picked at his teeth. Huh? I am human. I came out of the tower and ended up there. The boys nearly choked. You came out of the tower? Forget that. There is something I want to ask. What are you two? You do not seem normal either. Why can I sense magical power from you? One of the boys smiled proudly. The other explained, Well, that's obviously because he is a disciple, someone just like you who was blessed by the gods. Lee Jian was annoyed hearing that. The gods ain't shit. Why would I follow those weak-ass bitches? Then he suddenly noticed his reflection. His expression was identical to a caveman seeing a mirror for the first time. He jumped to his feet. Is there a mirror around here? The waitress pointed toward the back. Over there. Lee Jian rushed over and removed his shirt. He stared at himself in shock. How is this possible? My entire body has recovered. Thinking back, he remembered all the injuries he had accumulated over the years. Healing those kinds of wounds come at a price. Overall strength reduction. But I didn't feel any slower while fighting those calamities. Wait, even my missing arm is back. His body was completely restored. Muscular. Healthy. Perfect. Then his eyes landed on a strange mark on his arm. Huh? What is this? Suddenly, the mark materialized and started glowing. Tremendous amount of pain surged in his body as he grabbed his wrist. A notification appeared. You have experienced death. More windows appeared. You have achieved the impossible. Your existing abilities will be transferred to a new body. All achievements obtained within the tower will be converted into experience. You have generated zodiac skills. All unique skills and traits previously possessed will be transferred and evolved. You are now able to use the power of Ophiuchus. The pressure alone forced his eyes shut. His consciousness was dragged elsewhere. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself floating in space. His body glowed with green light. Then he looked up and froze. The snake was unimaginably enormous. Calling it gigantic was an understatement. Lee Jian looked smaller than one of its eyes. Even that comparison felt inadequate. The creature looked large enough to wrap around an entire planet. Slowly, he reached out. His hand touched the snake. The moment he made contact, a blinding light erupted. Both of them began glowing intensely. The next moment, Lee Jian collapsed back into reality. He lay on the floor completely stunned. Jimin reached out his hand. Brother, are you all right? Lee Jian looked around. Did you not see it? That massive snake? Jimin blinked. Snake? No. You took off your clothes, ran to a mirror, grabbed your wrist, and started screaming. Lee Jian stared at the mark on his arm. So nobody else can see it? The two boys shared the same thought. This guy keeps getting stranger. Green particles drifted through the air. A notification appeared. You have become the master of Ophiuchus. More windows appeared. Super regeneration F rank. Any damage sustained by your body will be restored. Your body has been reconstructed. Penalty: 50% decrease in physical abilities. Remaining time: 1,032 hours. So my physical recovery came from super regeneration. The saints never told me they could see anything like this, and I cannot sense the presence of any divine god either. Regardless, my body is fully restored. That is all that matters. Now there is only one thing left to do: kill the saints who abandoned me, and slaughter the bastard who stabbed me in the back. Just thinking about torturing those idiots is already getting me excited. Near the Demon Tower, police had completely sealed off the area. So it is true. The Demon Tower really collapsed. Yeah, the whole world is going to lose its mind over this. The tower was basically a landmark. Could this have been the work of Li Jion's followers? Maybe. Or perhaps it was done by disciples who hated him. One officer shook his head. Look at the calamities lying around. Even high-ranked disciples would struggle against monsters like those. So who could have killed all of them and destroyed the tower? Another officer began sweating. Then did Li Jion really survive? Is he actually back? Even his superior looked nervous. I do not know. All we can do is wait. Elsewhere, reporters crowded around a podium. Yang Wei, please give us your thoughts on the collapse of the Demon Tower. Do you believe there is a chance that Li Jion survived? Standing before them was the airy saint, Yang Wei, also known as the Fatso. He became even uglier than before. How's that possible? Yang Wei picked up the microphone. No comment. Then he immediately left with his security team. Wait, Mr. Yang Wei. What do you mean by no comment? Inside his speeding car, Yang Wei crushed his sunglasses in frustration. Li Jion, Li Jion, Li Jion. How many times have I heard that name today? His expression darkened. You expect me to believe that bastard is still alive? That he survived 20 years inside that tower? That is impossible. Absolutely impossible. He reached into his pocket. There were millions of calamities inside, and they were all black rank monsters. Escaping with only the Crimson Eye was already a miracle for us. How could anyone survive in there? Especially him. His body was already falling apart because of the recoil from his powers. Unlike the 12 saints, he never received a blessing from a god. That's the exact reason his body was crumbling apart. Because he wasn't blessed. But if there is even the slightest chance that he survived, everything will be over. Everything. The scene switches back to Li Jion. A grin spread across his face. Now then, how about I start by crushing this guy first? The scene shifts to an airport. A private jet lands. A man steps outside. Welcome, sir. To be able to meet one of the 12 saints is an honor. Mr. Hugo Otters. He asks, where is the Prime Minister? The guards reply that he is waiting at his residence. Your vehicle has been prepared, sir. All right, let's go. Wow, he is so dignified. Someone like that is a real chosen one. The car speeds down the road. Inside the vehicle, Hugo remains silent. His phone starts ringing. Is it the reporters again? They are always going on about the conspiracy theories that Li Jion is still alive. It is an unknown number. He silences the phone. It has already been over 20 years. Annoyed, he begins remembering the past. You are going to die tomorrow. Why are you so determined to kill me? During the Demon Tower raid, I was taking care of the calamities outside the tower at Jion's request. I prayed that my prophecy was wrong. Exhausted and covered in blood, he prayed for Li Jion to return safely. Then he met the other saints as they were running away. What happened? And where is Li Jion? The other saints had gone with Li Jion but abandoned him and returned carrying only the head of the Crimson Eye. After presenting the Crimson Eye's head, our achievements were acknowledged by those in power. The 12 saints and I were proclaimed heroes. We gained power and authority. Hugo was hospitalized, but he did not care about his injuries. I could not believe that Jion died. I requested a search for him many times, but nobody listened. One of the saints argued with him. We cannot do that, Hugo Otters. His name was Janglui Moleng, the Cancer Saint. You should know very well how many calamities came out of that tower. The idea that Li Jion is still alive is nonsense. With a sinister smile, he added, if you are so worried about him, then go look for him yourself. I will not stop you. But that would leave only 11 saints left. Hugo could do nothing. Back in the present, he feels sadness as those memories return. He unbuttons his shirt. Yeah, no matter how strong Jion was, that would have been impossible. And now it is too late. He vividly remembers Li Jion. Suddenly, someone calls out to him. Mr. Hugo, it is a call from the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister speaks. Mr. Hugo, are you listening? Yes. What is the matter? You heard the news right. The Demon Tower has fallen. It's about that again. I am sorry, Prime Minister, but if you are asking me to search for Jion, then I must refuse. He died that day in the Demon Tower. The incident was probably caused by Li Jion's followers. If you are planning to use this issue to gain election votes, the Prime Minister interrupts him. No, that is not what I am talking about. According to information I just received from the Korean government, that call line rang a few moments ago. Hugo stares in disbelief. What rang? Lee Ji-yeon's exclusive call line. Pure shock spreads across his face. Are you serious? He starts punching the driver's seat. Stop the car. Yes, sir. The driver slams on the brakes. Then do not tell me that the calls I have been getting just now. He picks up his phone. 30 missed calls and 1 voicemail. He opens the voicemail and holds the phone to his ear. An ominous voice speaks. Hey, oh, Taeksu, I will find you, and I will kill you. Good luck. Hugo cannot believe his ears. This voice, could it really be Lee Ji-yeon? He shouts, turn the car around right now. We are going back to the airport. But Mr. Hugo, what about your business in England? I do not give a damn. Back to the airport right now. Yes, sir. Back at the restaurant, Lee Ji-yeon smirks while sending messages. Looks like, oh, Taeksu grew up. He learned how to ignore my calls. Jimin asks, bro, who are you calling so many times? Do not worry about it. He looks at the phone with curiosity. So this is a smartphone. This thing is interesting. It was 2005 when I entered the tower. That means it is 2025 now, right? The world has become a better place. Wow. Is this your first time using a smartphone? You can use the internet and watch the news too. Oh, the news. Can I read articles about Lee Ji-yeon? Of course. News about Lee Ji-yeon is trending right now. Just look over here. Multiple articles appear on the screen. Oh, but the comments can get really weird. As he reads the comments, his expression darkens. He grips Jimin's phone. No, please let go of my phone. I am the one who killed the Crimson Eye. They were the ones who ran away terrified. He calms himself. Let's control my anger. This is nothing. Suddenly, he remembers something. That's right. What happened to my will? While searching, he thinks to himself, I agreed to donate all my property and possessions to orphanages and scholarship foundations. I wonder if that was handled properly. Then he finds an article. Lee Ji-yeon passed all of his properties, including his divine artifacts, to the 12 saints to help save humanity. He exploded with rage and crushed Jimin's phone. I have decided. I am going to kill all of them. I will tear their bodies apart piece by piece. Jimin watches in horror as his phone got crushed. To be fair, it was a valid crash out. He starts crying while the broken phone says its final farewell. After casually committing a murder, Lee Ji-yeon sits down and thinks, what should I do now? Even though I want to announce my return, I look very different from 20 years ago. If I tell people I am Lee Ji-yeon, they will think I am insane. I should stay quiet for now and deal with those saint bastards one by one. Meanwhile, Jimin continues mourning the loss of his phone. If only I had bought it on an installment plan. Suddenly, red smoke appears. Ji-yeon immediately senses that something is wrong. A notification appears. Warning, someone is watching you. His expression remains calm. This presence belongs to. Ji-yeon stands up. Jimin asks, where are you going? Just getting some fresh air. As he steps outside, he is greeted by several flaming goats. 3 notifications appear. The household gods are creating a barrier belonging to Aries. The influence of other zodiacs has decreased. The household gods are requesting a tribute. These bastards. Activating his power, he scoffs. You dare act as if this is your territory. Lee Ji-yeon this. Lee Ji-yeon that. He turns around in annoyance. Who is that? 2 people are talking loudly nearby. It is so annoying. Everyone keeps talking about him. Exactly. He is all over the news. Why do they even give him so much attention? He was trash. That is why he died in the tower while everyone else survived. Yeah, for real. Jimin starts sweating when he notices the gold badge on their shirts. These people are from the Gemini Divine Cadre. One of them notices Ji-yeon staring. Jimin quickly warns him, brother, come inside. If you start an argument with those people. But Lee Ji-yeon ignores the warning. What are you looking at? Get lost. Jimin begins crying. We are finished. He took a long drag from his cigarette, stepped right into his face, and exhaled a stream of smoke. So, are you angry? If you are angry, then hit me. He got even closer. Come on, hit me. Honey, let's leave. He already pissed his pants. As they walk away, one of them laughs. What a coward. People like that are the ones who worship Lee Ji-yeon. For real. Lee Ji-yeon grows irritated. Thinking back to the comments, the words pierced him like arrows. Why do they like the weakest saint so much? Could it be that his status as a saint is a lie? Jimin tries to calm him down. Big brother, good job holding back your anger. Those guys are from Gemini. They are above A rank. Lee Ji-yeon suddenly turns around and shouts, hey, you damn cockroaches. Jimin loses all hope. The 2 stop and slowly turn around. Did you just call us cockroaches? Yeah, you 2. A pair of cockroaches. He walked toward Li Jian and stopped right in front of him. Say that again to my face and let's see what happens. You are nothing more than an ordinary human. I cannot even sense a trace of mana from you. Li Jian raised a finger. Then he flicked him like a cockroach. The man was launched through the air and crashed into the area behind his girlfriend. The onlookers were speechless. Li Jian simply stood there while smoke rose from his finger. The woman quickly activated her ability and began to fade from sight. Li Jian scoffed. Do not be stupid. Did you really think I would not notice what you were doing behind me? She froze in shock. He had seen right through her ability. Another flick shot toward her. She was sent flying as well. I held back as much as possible. Yet both of you still ended up unconscious. What a disappointment. Hey, you do know it is illegal to use magical abilities in the street, right? Do you think I am crazy? If I had actually used my powers, both of them would be dead. Everyone stared in disbelief. He defeated A-rank disciples with nothing but a finger. Suddenly he noticed something. He crouched down for a closer look and pulled a necklace from the fat guy's shirt. I knew it felt strange when I hit him. Is this not a divine artifact? But why do these idiots have divine artifacts? Only saints should possess them. Brother, do you really not know anything? Jimin began explaining. Humanity was almost wiped out by calamities several decades ago. People only survived because of the divine gods and the saints they selected. But 12 people alone could never protect the entire world. That is why the saints gathered followers and created divine cadres. People who awaken through power granted by the saints are called disciples. They are ranked according to their strength. The ranks are Saint, 10 stars, Divine Cadre Captain. A rank disciple. B rank disciple. C rank disciple. The saints chosen by the divine gods stand at the top. The 10 stars are considered future saint candidates. The strongest disciples who command the others are known as divine cadre captains. The divine gods gain power through their disciples. That is why every divine cadre constantly competes to recruit more followers. In return, the chosen disciples receive gifts from the divine gods. Li Jian clenched his fist. So this is what happened for the past 20 years. Brother, look over there. Once again, the red flaming goats surrounded him. A notification appeared. The household gods of wealth and greed under Ares are enjoying this situation. They urge you to finish off the man and woman. They wish to witness bloodshed. They promise to reward you with a useful gift if you kill them. Jimin's friend was terrified. He attracted the attention of the household gods. They are practically the shadows of the divine gods. Opposing them is the same as opposing the divine gods. Hurry and do what they want if you do not want to die. Li Jian smiled. Man, I was wondering why Yang Weiss lackeys were hanging around a place like this. So they were trying to feed that greedy pig, while raising his foot for him to do something like this. He hasn't changed at all. He stomped his foot down. His strength cracked the ground and formed a powerful vortex around him. The flaming goats were pushed backward. Even the others were forced away by the pressure. The pressure was so intense that they were crushed by their own barrier. When Jimin finally opened his eyes, everything was over. The goats had completely evaporated. Li Jian stood there proudly. How dare you stand against me? Everyone was stunned. He defeated all of them. That brother. He is definitely not an ordinary person. Hey, Jimin. Yes, this thug here. You said he is a disciple of Gemini, right? Yes. The Gemini Divine Cadre has the most influence in this country. It is an elite organization filled with powerful and influential people. Then I guess they have plenty of money. Jimin did not understand what he meant. A wicked grin spread across Li Jian's face. Everything he is wearing is designer brand clothing, right? Like in Wild Animal, he was snatching his items while singing, "Looting time is the best time." We are finally here. It has been a long day. That is where I live. The apartment on the second floor with no lights on. I live in the next neighborhood. Oh, I see. Jimin bowed deeply. Thank you so much for saving our lives today and bringing us home. He waited for a response. After a moment, he cautiously opened one eye to check if Li Jian had already left. To his surprise, Li Jian was standing there yawning like an old man. Aren't you going inside? Jimin became annoyed. Are you planning to mooch off me and stay at my house? After entering the apartment, Li Jian tossed aside his shirt and began cutting his hair. He leaned closer to the mirror. Then he smiled. Jimin stared in amazement. Brother, you cut your hair. You look so cool now. Li Jian immediately became flustered. Really? You think so? Grinning like a child, he thought to himself. Back then, every single strand of hair was precious because I kept losing it as a side effect of my abilities. To think I can style my hair like this again. I really hit the jackpot. Suddenly, he noticed something. What is that? Why is there a calamity inside your house? Without hesitation, he crushed it in his hand. Jimin was stunned. Seriously, you killed it with your bare hands. Even professionals would struggle to catch one because they move so fast. Lee Jian frowned. It is not just one calamity. Why do they keep coming here? Could it be that you were giving off a scent that attracts calamities? Bullshit. Normally, that means something inside this house is attracting them. His eyes moved towards several artifacts. It is because of all these evil artifacts. That is why calamities keep showing up. Jimin looked confused. Evil artifacts. I received these directly from the Gemini Saint. Even though they are not mine, these items were blessed by a saint. Before he could finish speaking, Lee Jian sliced the artifact in half. Both men were worried for completely different reasons. Lee Jian was worried about the disgusting smell lingering on his hand. Jimin was worried about the artifact. Lee Jian grabbed another item. Listen carefully. This mask is a divine artifact used to monitor its owner. He tossed it aside. This music box steals personal information. He grabbed a watch. And this watch attracts calamities. Those saint bastards. Not only did they steal my money, they are selling cursed artifacts to innocent people and profiting from them. Flames practically erupted around him. Just thinking about it makes me angry. Throw all of this garbage away. At that moment, a man was standing outside the apartment. Confused by the commotion, he opened the door. Lee Jian heard the electronic beep and turned around. The man became even more confused when he stepped inside. Lee Jian immediately frowned. Who the hell are you? Meanwhile, Jimin started sweating. With a trembling voice he spoke. Sung Jae. The newcomer looked annoyed. Me. I am the owner of this house. Oh. The scene shifts to a palace. The residence of Yang Wei of the Aries divine cadre. What? The household gods stationed in Korea have disappeared. That is why our Korean branch is in complete panic right now. Who would dare do something like that? The household gods are direct subordinates of the divine gods. No awakened individual would dare drive them away. Contact the other saints. Find out if they know anything. Understood. However, Sagittarius remains unreachable as always. You mean Hugo. Do not bother with him. He is probably working as a mercenary in England right now. Actually, we received a report that shortly after arriving in England, he immediately left. Yang Wei paused. Is that so? Where did he go? His destination is Korea. Yang Wei turned around in shock. Hugo was Lee Jian's closest friend. Could he be moving because of the rumors that Lee Jian survived? Just imagining Lee Jian's face made him shiver. Did he really come back alive? Damn it. He grabbed an object and hurled it at the informer. That is impossible. Conduct a proper investigation. And what about the other reports? The disciple from Gemini who was found at the location where the household gods disappeared has regained consciousness. He was discovered wearing nothing but his underwear in the middle of the street. According to witnesses, he got into an argument with a handsome man. Yang Wei let out a sigh of relief. A handsome man. Then, it is not Lee Jian. In any case, the current situation is becoming dangerous. Rumors of Lee Jian's return are spreading. The household gods in Korea have vanished for unknown reasons. And to make matters worse, we failed to conquer the Spider Queen. Yang Wei clenched his fist. If this continues, my position will be threatened. Prepare my private jet. Are you going there personally? Yes. I need to see exactly what is happening in Korea with my own eyes. He grabbed his coat and immediately headed out. Bro must think he was aura farming, but he is in generational aura loss with that triple chin.
Know your fucking place, trash.
Meanwhile, in Korea, at a hospital affiliated with Gemini, a fat man lay unconscious in a hospital bed connected to an oxygen mask. His grandfather was furious. Who dared to do this to my grandson? Hey you! A man dressed in white calmly responded. Do not worry about what happened this time. That is why the Gemini Divine Cadre dispatched me. Chairman, Gemini Disciple, S rank, Permafrost, Min Sung-hoon. The scene switches back to the house. Sung Jae looked annoyed. So you were telling me that you met him at the Demon Tower, and he killed calamities with his bare hands. All by himself. He even defeated an A-rank disciple. Jimin nodded repeatedly. Yeah. You seriously expect me to believe that? He even destroyed all the divine artifacts in the house. Lee Jian shrugged. I already told you. They were all fake. This one is fake too. As Sung Jae continued asking questions, his irritation only grew. What divine cadre are you part of? Lee Jian smirked. Do I need to belong to one? Then which divine god do you follow? Myself. Not those 12 idiots. What is your awakened class? A production class. Sung Jae narrowed his eyes. Then, what is your name? With a cold expression, Lee Jian replied. Lee Jian. The moment he heard that name, Sung Jae snapped. Sung Jae calmed down. Activating his power, he shouted, "You break into our house, destroy all our divine artifacts, and then you dare call yourself Lee Jian." A giant statue suddenly appeared behind him. "How dare you pretend to be Lee Jian Nim? We are inside a house, you crazy bastard." A notification appeared. Caution. The mana of the Gemini disciple is rapidly increasing. Lee Jian remained completely unfazed. Wow, that is pretty cool. At this rate, you are going to burn your house down. Lee Jian activated a skill, Gaze of a God. Several notifications appeared. Cheon Sung Jae, Disciple of Gemini, Awakened Rank A, Awakened Name the Punisher, Possessed Skills, Witch Burning S rank, Seal of Perpetual Snow A rank. Traits: Genius, Foresight, Persistent Obsession, Idol Worship, Genius Learning Effect 200%. Even Lee Jian was impressed. He is already using a high-rank summon at his age. His genius trait is not for show. The summon began charging an attack. Jimin panicked. Brother, run away. Sung Jae is an A-rank disciple of Gemini. He is also a massive Lee Jian fanatic. Jimin. Did you not hear me? Get out of here if you do not want to die. With a mischievous grin, Lee Jian suddenly appeared behind him. Raising a finger, he said, "You are going to wet your bed if you keep playing with fire." Sung Jae froze. When did he get behind me? Before he could react, Lee Jian flicked him. Sung Jae instantly lost consciousness. You crazy idiot. The house is one thing. Do you plan on burning the entire building down too? Jimin looked worried. Brother. Sung Jae is not dead, right? Lee Jian laughed. Oh, he is fine. He is fine. Jimin looked over. Foam was coming out of Sung Jae's mouth. I do not think he is fine. Lee Jian stretched. I am going to sleep. Wake me up when it is time to wake up. While Jimin desperately tried reviving Sung Jae, Lee Jian opened a nearby door. Then he froze. The room was filled with hundreds, maybe thousands, of Lee Jian statues and figures. What the hell is all this? I told you. Sung Jae is a Lee Jian fanatic. Do not go inside. That room contains my Lee Jian collection. I value it more than my own life. Lee Jian frowned. At the very least, let me take their heads off. They make me uncomfortable. No. My Lee Jian Nim figures. Stop. You lunatic. I am not a lunatic. I am Lee Jian. Sung Jae looked absolutely devastated. Meanwhile, at a coffee shop, the news played on a television. Here is our next story. Yesterday afternoon, 2 Gemini disciples were humiliated by an unidentified individual. According to witnesses, the suspect stripped the victims of all their belongings and clothing. Hugo listened with disappointment. That is definitely Jian. What is that idiot doing? This is the first thing I hear after arriving in Korea. A waitress approached. May I take your order? Hugo immediately glared at her. Cut the act and get out here, Yang Wei. The waitress smiled. Oh my. You figured it out immediately. That is no fun. It has been a while, Hugo. I have not been able to contact you lately. You must be in Korea because of Lee Jian too. It would be in your best interest to tell me what you know. This is exactly why I hate you. You creepy bastard who possesses other people's bodies. Hugo flicked his finger. The connection between Yang Wei and the waitress instantly broke. The waitress blinked in confusion. Huh, what was I doing? Hugo clenched his fist. Damn it. If Yang Wei is already using tricks like this, then I need to find Jian before anyone else. Where the hell are you, Jian? The scene shifts to Bucheon, Gyeonggi Province, a large mall. Jimin and Sung Jae were shopping. Sung Jae. Do you really think that Hung is Lee Jian Nim? Are you serious? He looks completely different. Besides, Lee Jian Nim is a hero who saved humanity. You think he acts like a thug, but I definitely saw him come out of the demon tower. He is insanely strong too. So maybe. No, he is not. My father told me so, and I trust him completely. Oh right, your father is the Sagittarius saint. Let us just pay for everything. A figure rushed past them at incredible speed. This speed. A Scorpio disciple. He is using his abilities to steal. The thief moved like a blur. At this rate, he is going to empty the entire store. You idiots. Not even a saint can catch me. I have enough now. Time to hit the next location. Hi there. Boom. Lee Jian punched him directly in the stomach. The thief nearly coughed up blood. That is impossible. Jimin looked shocked. Brother, what are you doing here? Oh, I forgot to tell you. Buy some chicken. A man suddenly appeared nearby. Impressive. Scorpio disciples are difficult to catch because of their speed. Judging from your energy, you seem like an ordinary disciple. Next time you should call the police. Lee Jian narrowed his eyes. What is with this guy? Suddenly, loud noises echoed through the building. Everyone inside the mall began panicking. What the hell? An earthquake. The thief grinned. Perfect. I can escape during the chaos. He dashed forward. I only got caught because of that weird bastard. But thanks to this earthquake, I have another chance. The ground in front of him exploded apart. The thief barely stopped himself in time. A giant centipede burst from beneath the floor. A calamity. Why is there a calamity in a green zone? I need to get out of here before I die. The thief jumped into the air. Even a calamity will never catch me. In the next instant, the giant centipede swallowed him whole. The sound of crushing bones echoed throughout the mall. Everyone froze. A terrifying humanoid figure was fused to the centipede's body. 6 glowing eyes stared down at everyone. The emergency speaker suddenly activated. Alert. Alert. This is not a drill. A calamity has appeared inside the mall. All civilians are advised to evacuate immediately. Due to the appearance of the Spider Queen, the danger level within the mall has been upgraded to red zone. Hundreds of spiders and centipedes poured through the building. People ran in terror. In the middle of the chaos, a small child stood frozen in fear, crying, unable to move. A calamity lunged toward him, but in a single motion, Lee Jian crushed it with one punch. Hey kid, you should watch where you are going. The child trembled in fear. Lee Jian held out a hand. Are you all right? The child immediately ran away. Well, at least he looks okay. Anyway, why are there more calamities in this mall than people? That is definitely not normal. I think I should fix that. A green snake slowly materialized around him. Lee Jian smiled. It has been a while. Let's start with a warm-up. Inside a black car, Yang Wei was shocked. What did you just say? There has been a report that a calamity has broken out at a market in Buxian. Forget that. What calamity did you say it was? The report says it was the Spider Queen. Damn it. We failed to subjugate it last time, so we barely managed to seal it. Did it somehow escape? God damn it. It would be hard for me to take on a red-level calamity alone, the narrator explained. After calamities began to appear, humanity divided them into 6 levels. Blue, the gods' pure sanctuary. Green, safe. Yellow, caution. Orange, danger. Evacuate. Red, ruled by calamities. Black, human extinction. If the Spider Queen has appeared, then the market is already a red zone. Sir Yang Wei, what should we do about the market? He hesitated before answering. It will become a problem if word spreads that we suffered even more damage because we failed to subjugate it. Call the authorities and say the humans inside are already dead, killed by calamities. And gather some of my disciple, order them to burn the building. He hit the car in frustration. No one should know I was behind it. Back at the mall, the calamities never seemed to end. He activated his magical power. You filthy bugs. Die. Ice spikes erupted from the ground and trapped all the monsters inside. Glacial prison. These bastards are looking down on an S rank. Their fangs began to crack the ice. Then they completely escaped. It broke through my magic? The bald man could not even see Lee Jian appear in front of him. Move aside. Snowflake bastard. He was carrying several cans. Just who is this guy? Hey, idiots. Were you trying to eat people because you had nothing else to eat? He swung his arm. Eat this. The cans flew toward the calamities. One of them screeched at Jian. A moment later, it was sliced clean in half. Don't you dare bare your fangs at me. As he cut down several calamities in an instant using a dagger. Sung Jae was speechless seeing him move as Lee Jian slashed through several more insignificant insects. All of a sudden, a notification catches him by surprise. You have handled the calamity. Your zodiac experience has increased. You have acquired new materials for production. Materials? What are those? The system replied. You can produce new skills and divine artifacts using these production materials. Jian thought to himself, has my production skill changed too? I will have to try it later. Anyway, considering my 50% physical ability penalty, my movements were not bad at all. At this rate, I will become even stronger than I was before. The bald man stared in disbelief. Even though they were barely affected by my S-rank magic, he dealt with them so easily. Jian handed back the dagger he had taken. Hey, this was the dagger from your house. Sung Jae wasn't even angry. When did you take that? The bald man was thinking, more importantly, where did this guy even come from? How can someone be this strong without me even hearing their name or seeing their face? Then something clicked. Hey, you. Lee Jian turned around. So that's why I had a bad feeling. You're the one who ambushed our disciples. Lee Jian panicked. and lost all hope seeing he got caught. In a last-ditch effort, Jian punched him. Shut up. He glanced down at the collapsed man. You know too much. But how did you find out? He answered, You dumbass. How I found out was because of the clothes you're wearing. More importantly, that badge. To be fair, even I didn't notice that he was wearing the stolen clothes. Maybe I am dumb too. Back to the story, I guess. Those badges are S-rank divine artifacts given only to Gemini disciples. The reason you are so ridiculously strong must be because of that gift. Li Jian looked at the badge in disgust. Huh? Since when was this here? Looks like garbage. He crushed it between his fingers. The bald man nearly lost his mind. You crazy bastard. Did you just destroy a divine artifact? Jian replied. The fuck you mean by divine artifact? There are nothing but decorations. You were tricked by that witch. The man was speechless. That is blasphemy. Anyway, 20 years have passed, and that crazy witch is still the same bully as ever. Then the real problem arrived. The queen centipede let out a terrifying screech. Jian immediately became serious. Jimin trembled just from looking at it. The calamity charged toward the humans. That is the queen. Seeing the people in danger made Li Jian furious. In a flash, he launched himself forward. Hey, spider. He appeared right in front of it. Then he punched it away from the crowd. Just piss off. The impact was so powerful that the queen was buried beneath the floor. The crowd stood frozen in shock. The bald man could not believe what he was seeing. That is insane. He charged straight at the Spider Queen without using any divine artifacts. Suddenly, a voice echoed through both of their heads. Listen, all Gemini disciples in that mall. Both were surprised. This voice belongs to Divine Cadre Captain Choi Sung-yuk. He is using telepathy? The bald man quickly responded. Yes, Divine Cadre Captain. This is Min Sung-hoon. The voice continued. Cheon Sung-jae and Min Sung-hoon. Exit the building immediately. This is an order. Some Aries members will be burning the entire building. His name was Choi Sung-yuk. Gemini Divine Cadre Captain. Suddenly, a barrier appeared and covered the entire mall. Choi continued. Yang Wei is coming here personally. We have no way to stop him. The Spider Queen that appeared there is something even Yang Wei failed to subjugate. That is why they are desperately trying to hide the truth. It will become troublesome if any dirt about them gets out. Min Sung-hoon. You still have the teleport skill that was lent to you, right? Hurry up. Take Cheon Sung-jae and leave. He hesitated. You mean just the two of us? He looked around. People were injured. Calamities crawled everywhere. Li Jian was still fighting the queen. His mind was in complete chaos. What should I do? Waiting for an answer, he asked, is there any problem? No, sir. There isn't a single problem. Sung-jae was enraged. It would not even be enough if we begged for help. So what are you talking about? Do you not see the chaos we are in right now? You are basically telling everyone here to be buried alive. He hesitated before answering. I know, but think about it. If we tell people that the Spider Queen appeared in the middle of the city, what do you think they will think? What do you mean? The citizens will definitely criticize the Divine Cadre. Their devotion will be shaken, and the divine gods will become weaker as well. Humanity's devotion must remain unwavering if we are to receive protection from the divine gods. Sung-jae glared at him. Do you think that justifies this? The man ignored the question. Luckily, I still have the teleport skill that I rented. It can teleport 2 people at a time. Cheon Sung-jae, only you can come. Since it is an order, I will take you out personally. What about my friend? I cannot leave him behind. Besides, there are still many people who have not been able to evacuate. You stupid idiot. Why are you bothering me with this in a situation like this? He activated his magical power. I have no intention of being buried alive because I hesitated over incompetent idiots like him. But I also cannot ignore the orders of the Divine Cadre Captain. I will remove that burden so you will not have to worry about him. Sung-jae was furious. You absolute trash. The man laughed. Cheon Sung-jae, you are not thinking about fighting me, are you? You and I are on completely different levels. Stop feeling guilty for no reason and make the wise choice. Suddenly, he was caught in the crossfire and slammed into the ground. Li Jian landed nearby and looked at them. Why are you guys still here? It is dangerous. Get outside quickly. Jimin sighed in relief. Brother, Sung-jae replied, we cannot leave. The exits are blocked by calamities. We either have to use teleportation or get rid of all the calamities. Besides that, there are still many injured people. And outside, the Ares members are blocking us off. This whole situation is a real headache. The bald man slowly got back to his feet. You damn beggar! You dare trample me? Li Jian looked confused. Huh? What is your problem? Were you not the one who abandoned everyone so you could escape by yourself? Shut up. That is a completely different issue. You idiots can try surviving on your own. I am getting out of here, even if I have to do it alone. Before he could activate his teleportation skill, a giant web shot out behind him. The web wrapped around his body, blocking all movement and dragging him backward. This is bad. The Spider Queen yanked him toward her with tremendous force and swallowed him whole. Only his phone was left behind. Sung Jae and Jimin stared in shock. Li Jian's expression turned cold. You two. I will handle this. Go help the injured so we can leave immediately. The two looked confused. He repeated himself while activating his power. I will kill this spider soon. Now go. Outside, the barrier around the mall was nearly complete. Yang Wei finally arrived. What is the situation? The mall has been sealed off and the entire building is surrounded. Is it not progressing a little too slowly? Especially considering I started this before I even arrived. The people maintaining the barrier spoke up. It does feel like the seal is not working properly. Right. It feels like something is resisting it. Suddenly, brilliant green rays burst through the barrier. Everyone was thrown backward. A gigantic green snake emerged from the mall. Yang Wei nearly lost his mind. What the hell is that? A snake? The survivors from inside the mall finally escaped. Save us. There are calamities inside. Yang Wei's bodyguards stopped them from rushing forward. I am telling you, there are still people trapped inside. Please save them. And there is some guy killing all the spiders. What? Killing the spiders? Impossible. Who could do that when even I could not? Activating his abilities, Yang Wei spoke. I will check for myself. His bodyguard warned him. Sir, there could still be calamities inside. That is not a problem for me. Just wait here, all of you. He launched himself upward and bounced across the side of the building. Moments later, he landed on the 3rd floor. The sight before him left him speechless. The corpse of the Spider Queen lay on the ground. Sweat poured down his face. How did they kill this? Who could have done it? There are still traces of the battle everywhere. Something definitely happened here. Does this mean someone actually hunted the Spider Queen? This situation keeps getting worse. And on top of that, there is something else I need to worry about. Suddenly, he sensed an overwhelming magical presence. This feeling. He immediately rushed toward it. No, that bastard. Why is that bastard here? Hugo Otters? There is no way. Could Hugo be the culprit behind all of this? Now that I think about it, it actually makes sense. Suddenly, a wave of fear washed over him. An ominous voice spoke. Was your life better without me? A sinister grin spread across Li Jian's face. What's wrong, asshair? Is all that weight making you uncomfortable? Yang Wei nearly lost control of himself. Li Jian? Li Jian is really alive? The scene shifted to the ambulances. Anyone who is injured, come this way. Please hurry. Get out of the way. It is dangerous. Jimin and Sung Jae sat quietly nearby. Sung Jae thought to himself, is he really Li Jian? Even though he looks different, his movements and speed are exactly the same. Suddenly, someone called his name. Sung Jae. It was Hugo. Why are you here? Sung Jae did not look happy to see him. When did you come back to Korea? Jimin was stunned. The Sagittarius Saint was standing right in front of him. Hugo frowned. What? Is that any way to speak to your father? Jimin could not help laughing while Sung Jae looked annoyed. Hugo calmed himself. It's a relief that you're not seriously injured. More importantly, Sung Jae, were you inside that mall? I heard the calamity was killed. Did you see who did it? Humph. Hugo sounded irritated, but there was still excitement on his face. I wonder who he gets that attitude from. Jimin suddenly spoke. I think Brother Jian should be fine, right? Hugo froze. Brother Jian? He immediately grabbed Jimin by the shoulders. Did you just say Jian? Where is he? Do you know him? Jimin hesitated before answering. Could your name also be pronounced as O Taeksu? The moment Hugo heard that, he knew. It really was Li Jian. Jimin continued. The person you are looking for is still inside the mall. He is the one who defeated the Spider Queen. He said his name was Li Jian. Hugo's eyes widened. Describe him. Tell me everything. Before Jimin could answer, a massive explosion erupted from the mall. What is happening now? Meanwhile, inside the mall, Yang Wei was breathing heavily. Sweat covered his face. Li Jian slowly stepped out of the dust. You really are too much. It has been 20 years since we last met, and you attack me the moment you see me? The fat man looked confused. You are not Li Jian. He studied him carefully. He does resemble him, but there are no scars on his face. And while the voice sounds similar, it is still different. Hope filled Yang Wei's eyes. There is no way Li Jian would still look this young. You bastard! How dare you impersonate Li Jian? I got scared for nothing. Li Jian looked annoyed. What do you mean impersonate? Yang Wei roared. How dare you forget your place and stand against me? You are ready for what comes next, right? With an expressionless face, you're joking, right? You think you stand a chance against me? In a flash, he hit him in the gut. Did you think I was joking, retard? The fatso went flying. Jian vanished from Yang's perspective and suddenly appeared behind him and smashed him into the ground. Li Jian landed gracefully. Yang Wei struggled to breathe. You people really need to get beaten up before you learn how to listen. Was life better after getting rid of me in the tower? You worthless bastard. Li Jian slowly walked toward him. You stole my divine artifacts. You stole my assets. And I heard you even forged my will. Yang Wei trembled. Please, that is... Li Jian smiled. It is fine. I was planning to kill all of you anyway. I do not need a reason. First, I will teach you pain. Then, I will destroy your house. After that, your divine cadre. Then your divine artifacts. And when I am done with you, the rest of those saint bastards will get their turn. I will destroy everything. Yang Wei clenched his teeth. I will never let that happen. Yang Wei slowly stood up. The way he talks, the way he acts, he is not bluffing. And I could not even follow his movements just now. Is he really Li Jian? Did he actually survive the tower? That is impossible. If you really are Li Jian, then prove it. The fuck you mean, prove it? That man standing in front of you just manhandled your hairy ass. This is the textbook definition of digging your own grave. He began levitating. An overwhelming amount of magical power erupted from his body. 7 swords emerged from a portal behind him. His appearance began to change. A notification appeared. Ares' owner. Divine God. The Jade Emperor has appeared. An old man manifested behind Yang Wei. Li Jian smirked. Even after 20 years, you can only summon a fraction of your divine God. The old man raised a finger. Silence. Chains erupted from the ground and wrapped around Li Jian. Yang Wei laughed. Do we still look like weaklings to you now? I do not know how you escaped the demon tower, but it ends here. Countless swords appeared in the sky. Thousands, hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions. Royal skill, divine God's weapon. The endless sea of swords rushed toward Li Jian. As the attack descended, Li Jian remained completely unfazed. Wow, that is impressive. Shut up and die. The swords swallowed him whole. The ground exploded. Everything disappeared beneath the storm of blades. Where Li Jian once stood, only a mountain of swords remained. A massive graveyard of steel. Yang Wei stared at it while gasping for breath. Did he finally die? Slowly, he walked toward the sword graveyard. I cannot believe it. You actually returned from the demon tower. But you are still as stupid as ever. You chose to fight me head on. Me, who has grown stronger through the experience points gathered by countless disciples. How foolish. Did you think we spent the last 20 years doing nothing? His words sounded confident, but fear still lingered in his eyes. Suddenly, rays of light burst from within the mountain of swords. Yang Wei's face turned pale. No, that cannot be right. The entire sword graveyard exploded. Li Jian burst through the blades and slammed his fist into Yang Wei's face. Yang Wei crashed through a concrete wall. Most of his teeth shattered on impact. He trembled uncontrollably. How did he survive that? Are you really Li Jian? Li Jian stepped forward and stomped on his chest. Wow, you finally recognized me. His body was covered in scars. A grin spread across his face. Yeah, I am back for real, for real. He pinched his nose. Just what happened for even your weapons to smell this awful? His body began healing on its own. One by one, every scar disappeared. Yang Wei was speechless. That kind of regeneration is impossible. Not even Aquarius healers can do that. How did you obtain this kind of power? Several notifications appeared. You have survived a near-death experience. The conditions have been met. The skill 13th sense has been unlocked. Li Jian smiled as he read the messages. His regeneration was now complete. Yang Wei, thanks a lot. I have gotten stronger because of you. Now then, how about I try something new? Yang Wei desperately begged. Please wait. More notifications appeared. The divine god of Ares is astonished by Li Jian. The divine god of Ares complains to Yang Wei and demands to know why Li Jian is still alive. The divine god of Ares trembles and declares this impossible. The divine god of Ares disappears while hurling curses. What? Wait! Why is my divine god disappearing? Li Jian grabbed Yang Wei and shook him around. Maybe because he saw what a piece of trash you are, fatso. And he realized there was no point in staying. Do not worry. I will not kill you. I am feeling merciful today, so I will only make you experience the pain I felt. A scream echoed throughout the mall. Soon, bodyguards arrived alongside Hugo Otters. What in the world happened here? Before them lay hundreds of high-ranking calamities. Hugo became suspicious. He focused his senses. Hugo opened a portal and looked inside. His eyes widened. Yang Wei was lying there completely defeated. This was definitely Li Jian's doing. Even if he usually causes trouble, a mess like this is different. Something is seriously wrong. The guards could not see the portal. However, they still sensed an overwhelming presence. A bright golden light appeared behind one of the guards. It was Hugo. He was charging an attack. Would all of you kindly step back a few feet? Everyone quickly moved away. Boom. Hugo descended from the sky. The moment his feet touched the ground, he looked around. Li Jian. That idiot really did all of this? Yang Wei was unconscious. A note had been left on his chest. Went to the asshair's place. Hugo sighed. What kind of trouble are you planning to cause next? The scene shifted again. Li Jian was climbing the stairs toward Yang Wei's palace. So the divine artifact Yang Wei stole from me is in here, right? He entered the palace. The place looked like a museum. People were taking pictures of various artifacts. Li Jian walked through the halls without a care in the world. Then he looked toward a hallway. I can smell my divine artifact over there. He laughed while looking at the displays. Those clothes definitely came from my house. But all these weapons are fake. Something suddenly caught his attention. A display case. The label read, "Toothpick used by Li Jian." His eyes lit up. I finally found it. My precious baby. A deafening alarm suddenly rang out. Everyone panicked. Sirens echoed throughout the entire palace. There is a thief. All guards moved to Area B. Jian had already smashed the reinforced glass, and the toothpick was in his hands. Hundreds of guards immediately surrounded him. Put your hands up. Place the item down and surrender peacefully. Li Jian activated his magical power. I don't wanna. He casually waved his hand. In a single motion, every guard collapsed. Looking at the toothpick, he smiled. It is much easier to use something you are familiar with. Do you not think so too? Nice to see you again, Lime. The toothpick transformed into a small slime. Notifications immediately appeared. You have discovered a divine artifact. Omnificent Mudball. Production-oriented divine artifact. Rank S traits. Shape-shifting. Rank S. Lime happily cuddled against its master. More notifications appeared. You have met the conditions to unlock the Skill Creation Workshop. A 1.5 square meter workshop has been created. The default domain of Creation Workshop has been unlocked. Production Workshop. Repair and Strengthening Workshop. Disassembly Workshop. With the creation of the engraving skill, the traits of Omnificent Mudball may now be granted. Li Jian smiled. How about we get moving? As he walked out, he noticed a strange-looking door. The energy of an Ares divine artifact can be felt strongly. A mischievous grin spread across his face. It would be a little disappointing if I left empty-handed. He grabbed the handle. Fun. Fun. Farming time. A little later, Hugo arrived. Am I too late? People ran past him while shouting. The palace was already on fire. Hugo nearly burst into tears. Li Jian. Why are you doing this? At that moment, Li Jian emerged from the palace dragging an enormous bag. I am starving. Hugo immediately shouted. Jian. Even Li Jian looked surprised. Huh? Oh, Taksu? Hugo sprinted toward him while crying. Li Jian. You bastard. Li Jian stood proudly. I guess you really are a true friend. To his surprise, Hugo ran right past him, toward another man. Li Jian was devastated. Hugo cried his eyes out. If you were alive, you should have come to me immediately. What are you doing here right after returning? Is your leg all right? Your body is not even in good condition. Where are you rushing off to, you idiot? Li Jian's disappointment instantly turned into rage. He slammed Hugo's face into the ground. Can you not even recognize your friend's face, you dumbass? Do you want your ass kicked? There are some things you should never get confused about, like failing to recognize your best friend. Ouch, my face. Then Hugo noticed the slime. That is Jian's divine artifact. The slime. Wait, are you really Li Jian? He clenched his fist. Do I need to beat some sense into you? Oh, Takesu? Hugo suddenly jumped forward and hugged him. Tears streamed down his face. You were alive. You really are Lee Jian. Lee Jian punched him in the stomach. Why are you hugging me out of nowhere? That is disgusting. Clenching his stomach, he thought. He really is Lee Jian, no doubt about it. A notification appeared. The divine god of Sagittarius. Apollo has appeared. A majestic figure manifested behind Hugo. His long hair flowed through the air. When he opened his eyes, his presence was exactly what one would expect from a god. Hugo was shocked, because he was not the one who summoned him. The majestic god looked slightly annoyed. This is the end, guys, but in the story, it's only the beginning. The story keeps getting better with every chapter, and the artwork evolves into something so beautiful, it should probably come with a warning label. So don't miss out. If you want me to cover this manhwa further, comment, I want more, and even I want to cover this. It's just that good. You can watch my other videos. I have never said anything like this. Well guys, thanks for watching. Peace out.